Hello, everyone. This is Tina from Tina's Workshop. I had a few technical difficulties, but I think I've got them figured out. So hopefully things run smooth. Um, it's been a little bit of time since I did a full regular podcast. I've done, some kind of in between podcasts with getting ready for Lambtown and following up on Lambtown. So I have a few things laying around me. Only a couple of FOs and a few whips and acquisitions. So we're going to get into this. I'm using my new mug that I absolutely love. I'm actually having a little bit of coffee today. That doesn't happen too often, but I was kind of craving it today. It tastes really good. I like this Bella Rosa coffee that is local to us. It's not a real bitter coffee. So very tasty. And yes, I doctor it all up. Milk, sugar, It is October 17th, Friday, and it is almost 5 p.m. and we are at 78 degrees right now. We had a very wet this last week, and it's nice and sunny today, and it's warmed up a little bit, so I like it. I like the warmth. Getting right into, before I even started, I dropped stuff and forgot. I dropped my phone, and I guess I should part came off. So I should silence it before somebody starts calling, because that always happens, Okay, so I am dropping things, as usual. Stay. Right there. Stay. I've been packing. I have things all over the place. I have a lot of stuff around me right now. I'm tripping on things. Getting so aggravated. I had, tangent. I was trying to get rid of things on Facebook Marketplace, and I spent 3 days waiting for people that are like, oh yeah, I'm coming. Oh, I'm running a little late. Oh, I'll be there later. Oh, they don't even answer me, or I'm coming tomorrow. And I'm like, I had 3 people in one day do this to me all day. I'm sitting there waiting. I can't get anything done because I've got stuff sitting in the middle of the floor waiting for them. And it took 3 days to get those 3 items out of the house with multiple people that just were like, I'm coming, and then not show up. It was so aggravating. So those things are finally out. I've got a space. Now I can start doing some more packing and then work on going through that again. Anyway, okay, tangent over. When I made, and I think I've shown you guys this, I didn't, the last time I chatted with you, the last couple times, I didn't make myself notes, so I didn't have the notes to go back on, but I'm pretty sure I showed you the basket that I made. And I had attempted that first night to do an oak leaf die with it, which did not work on this. But I had this beautiful pot of oak leaf dye. So I pulled out some Hampshire fleece that I had, and noisy. I dyed it with the oak leaf. So I have not carded this yet. So you can see I've just picked it, so you can see it on the tips there. Here, let's take a piece. I'm trying to remember, did I do some for my journal yet? I might have, but let's see. Let me brush the tips out, because you get those really dark tips, but that doesn't really stay. Just a quick flick. There we go. So it's just a nice beige color I got from it, but it'll be really pretty when you spin all that up and then use it in something. So I was happy with that, and I did a nice little bundle of it here. And it's all picked, and this fleece was a very, very clean fleece, so it will card up really really nicely when it comes time to actually set and spin it. Okay, don't need this yet. I can go back down. So that's done. And then I can't remember if I showed you guys this or not. I might have. This was a recent skein I did of the dog fur yarn. And this is Samoyed. If you've not seen my videos on this, I did 2 videos on spinning the Samoyed. So this was some I spun up recently. And I still have, I think I did show it to you because I still have more back on the bobbins. And this is after it's all been washed and bloomed, and it came out beautiful. And I am planning to attempt to crochet a little Samoyed dog with the Samoyed fur and then give it to my cousin whose dog it was. So we'll see how that goes, but that's what I have hopeful plans of doing with this. And I happen to have had it out today because I was showing it to somebody, and then I'm like, I can't remember if I showed you guys, but now I remember I did show you. So now you've seen it twice. Bonus, right? So I guess, not as many finished objects as I thought that you haven't seen. I do have a few works in progress and some work on things. The shawl that I've been designing, I've done some on that, but not much because I've had other things I've been working on. So my little vanilla knitting that I take with me, my to-go project, in my Barley Pearls bag. This is the Vanilla Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And the last time you guys saw it, I was right there. So I've gotten this much done. So I figured I'd go ahead and show you. So I still have a bit more to go on the foot here. I think I need to go about this much further before I do the toe on this one. But it's coming along and I love the color. I don't know, do I have the tag in here? Oh, I do. This is Hasuko Sock, and I'm not going to even try and say the name of the yarn. And it is Conjay Pheasant is the color. And it is a superwash, what is it? 75 superwash, 25 polymade. So that's what I'm doing this one with. And it's still got a little ways to go, and then on to the second sock. But I still have that other vanilla bean sock that I need to do the second one on too, but I've just had other things going, haven't had the chance to do it, and this is the one that I carry with me. So it gets worked on when I'm out and about and have nothing else to do. And it got worked on a little bit today. And then I've gotten a little work done on the Blair Ethel blanket by Marion Mitchell. Not a whole lot, but it, I've got this much here. I've got this much here. And when I sit down, and if I sit down and work on this at night, this is my mindless evening crochet that I do at night, laying in bed, if I'm not already working on something else, which I've been doing the last few nights. But when I sit down to actually work on this, I usually only get 1 or maybe 2 rows done, but at the most it's 2 rows. So if you think about it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got about 10 rows done there. And that was probably over 8 nights, I would say. So it takes a little while when you're trying to get across. Even though it's not a huge blanket, it still takes a little while to get across that. But I love how it's coming out. I have started, I think I'm on my, let's see, 1, 2, I think I'm on my 3rd repeat. So the dark line right here is one where I went to 1 repeat, and then this green line here is the next repeat. So 1, 2, and I'm on the 3rd. Does And I really, really love how this one is looking. And it's an enjoyable crochet. And it's all kinds of different yarns. This is the yarn I've been collecting as I go to different yarn stores over the last couple of years. So all those beautiful colors that I love. So it's kind of a memory blanket too. If I remember where some of these came from, I can look and be like, oh yeah. Or I might just have to look back at all my old podcast videos to remember. But anyway, that's where I'm at on that one. So I will move my little wrench. Did you see my little wrench? I made that one. Little wrench. And my one that I'm using up here to hold my spot is a Wonderland Yarns little teapot. And not really for any reason, that just happens to be what I grabbed at that time. Okay, and then I started, this is an acquisition too. I was at World Market the other day and they had this bag and it's so cute. And it's basically this big long tube that's in it. It's been folded and stitched just partially in the center here, which creates a little pocket right in the middle. Then it's got a little pocket on the side and there's a handle, you know, on either side here. And they had a couple different patterns. I just really liked it. And I got the one with the tomatoes and I'm going to show you some yarn later. And the lady that I got the yarn from, she has a sheep named Tomatoes, which I just love. So, but I love tomatoes. I love fresh homegrown tomatoes. They're so yummy. So anyway, I got this big bag. I wanted a big bag. And in this is a vintage Christmas stocking. I'm dropping things again. Vintage Christmas stocking. And if you've been here with me a while, you've seen me do some of these before. This same pattern. And I am doing this actually for an order for somebody who I've did a stocking last Christmas that had a reindeer pulling a sleigh, and it's for the same person. And I actually have 2 of these to do. And I've just gotten the name and the year onto it. And I'm just starting the pattern below. And I knew I needed to get this done. But then I kind of put it up because I was like, okay, technically, even though I was really wanting to get it done now so I can do other things, it technically doesn't have to be done until closer to Christmas. And I had something I wanted to work on for October. Kind of for Halloween, but kind of just, it's fall. And I wanted to do it. And I actually had planned a video this week working on it, but I didn't get to the point to start that video yet. So I was like, okay, I need to just do a podcast this week and catch up with all of you. But it is this hat. Look at this thing. Is this not amazing? And it's got a ruffled, it's a toadstool hat. And forgot the name of the woman who did it, but I will have put the picture and her name up here, and links to everything will be in the description down below. And if I forget something, just ask. But she did it with 2 strands of Red Heart ombre and to make a bulky yarn. Well, I ended up just going through my stash. Wyoming Knits is doing a make-along on Ravelry right now using your stash. And Happy Crafty Homemaker, I think she's got one going too. I need to go check out. That's I think this month is Deep Stash, because I have definitely dived into my stash on this hat. I got out all the bulky yarns I had, little bits and everything, and I started off trying to pick kind of fall colors, and I just kept going from one to the next, and I had kind of figured out how I was laying it out to begin with, Then I got down to here, and then I was like, okay, now I need to use this one. Nope, I don't have enough. Now I've got to use this one and this one. And I really wasn't going to go for this one, but I ran out and I needed to use it. And this actually gets folded over, so it's stitched down here. Well, then you have the ruffle. So I pulled out a different kind of bulky yarn. That's the brioche and a pebble yarn and a fuzzy, and I started using it. There's actually 2 skeins of this pebble in here, but it's so long as it goes around this that, I mean, it really soaked it up. So then I get done, and this hat is very big and loose, and it comes down to like here on me. And I'm like, okay, I've got to do something so that it stays up. I finally figured out, once I started a second hat that I'll show you in a minute for my son, using the 2 strands of regular worsted, that even though I was using the same hook size and everything, this yarn still ended up being a little bit bulkier. So it made it bigger. And I'm like, okay, I can't have this thing way down here, especially with all of this. So I put some stuffing into it, which it didn't really need. It held really stiff, but I put some stuffing up here. And then I took some more colors I had that were not in this color scheme at all. And I started making a circle. And then I picked up another one. And then I picked up another one. 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors. As I made this circle, stitched it on so that it couldn't go down as far. Worked perfect, but it's still so loose on my head, it would just like swivel on my head. So then I went back, picked up stitches so that I could make more of a band. Well, then I ended up with that a little looser than I wanted. So the last 2 rows of it, I decreased to bring it in some. And I figured underneath, it didn't matter being in these different colors. Well, I had thought about using this color if I needed to, but hadn't gotten to it because I'm going to be adding some green into this later, and this has the orange and stuff. And I'm like, okay, it'll match. Well, you can see all the different colors in this now, but all that's hidden except for a little bit of this color. So it sits. Now, I haven't decided. You guys tell me what you think. I haven't decided. I've thought about putting a wire around the brim so that I can kind of make it go where I want it. And it has, where this is folded over, there is a little bit of a trough there. So I could easily put a wire into it. So if you look under, you can see a little bit of this, but I don't think that's too bad, but it keeps it from moving too much on my head. But that's not all. So this hat still has circles and mushrooms that go all over it. Well, that's not enough for me. So per the pattern, I've been working per the pattern, and the mushrooms and the circles are all per the pattern. Once I get those made, then I might make some more like the fungus, like your turkey tail and stuff, and have that kind of come out on it. And then I have some green, all still from my stash. I am working from my stash, but I've got like this kind of green that I can work as like a mossy color that I want to put around some of them. I don't know if I had originally thought about using some of this one, but then I came across this and decided I'd use this. So I don't know if I'll use any of this or not, but I want to use some of the green. I've got to have a little green in it, right? But I thought it would create like a mossy look around some of the toadstools. And then I thought I can pull out my needle felting and just add a little bit more detail, add a little bit of just color splash here and there that kind of just brings everything together. So that's where I'm going. Oh, and then a number of years ago, because my mom passed away in 21, so it's been a while, because my mom gave me these and they've been sitting here. Come on. So I just opened the package the other day and I thought, oh, I could even put these into there too. So I can have little acorns that are lit up around it. So, you know, like maybe even have them kind of go right around the base of a toadstool or something. So I'm thinking about throwing these into it too. I just have to figure out where I'm going to hide the battery pack, which I could make a little pocket almost that it slides into, because there's too much going on inside to try and stick it in there. So, you know what? Oh, you could stick it into one of those. That could work. I could stick it right into one of those. Might do that. But anyway, so I was thinking about throwing these in there too. And then my husband's like, what are you doing this for? And I'm like, well, kind of for Halloween, but it is also autumnal. So like, say we went to some harvest party or something, I could wear it if I wanted to. It's warm. I've worn it a couple times out when I walk with my son at night because it's very warm. But the other night, I actually, when we do a loop in front of our house. So we walked past our house like 4 or 5 times. The first time we walked past it, I went and set it down because I was too hot. But I was like, I can wear it for Halloween and add something new to it each year, you know, not in the hat per se, but some other thing. I don't know. Anyway, so this is in progress. Let me know down below if you would be interested in following along with me when I really start to decorate it, if that's something that would interest you or not. And my son saw me making that, and he's 6'5", and he has stilts that make him 8 feet tall, and he loves to play with those stilts when it comes to Halloween costumes. So this year he is going to be an 8-foot tall scarecrow. And he saw me making that, and when I was just starting the gray in the brim, and he's like, Mom, that would be like a perfect scarecrow hat. And I said, I was kind of thinking that as I worked it. Well, I've pulled out my different yarns. He went through and he picked the colors he wanted and how he wanted it done. And since it was being double stranded, he decided to pick 2 colors together that would give a kind of straw-like look. And this is his so far. It's still, the brim needs to come out more. And it does have that like straw-like look. So it's got 2 strands, a cream and this golden color, which have worked really well together. And I actually got all the way down to like here. And then he tried it on. He says a little tight, which it's made to sit up a little higher. So it is made to technically be tighter, and mine's huge because of the underside and everything. But this one's not going to have the underside because it's going to be a scarecrow hat, not a fungus hat. So I ended up having to pull all the way back out to here. That was the night that 3 people didn't show up. And then I had to pull out all the work I had just done too. I was like, oh man. So I pulled it out, but I'd rather have pulled it out then than when I was done. And I only added 4 more stitches in. And that was enough to just give that extra little bit of looseness that now it will actually come over his ears instead of sitting on his ears. And then I've gotten it down to here. It's fits him better than me. It's a little loose on me, but it's going to have like a little stitched patch on with some straw sticking out. We went and bought this so that we can use it in his costume. And we already made the jeans so that we've done this a couple times. We take 2 pairs of pants and then work them together to create these big long pants with this huge leg that goes over the stilts. And then he's got a red checked shirt and this, and we're going to stick straw in different places, but we're going to work it so that the straw can all come off later, and he will still have, like, the shirt can still be worn and stuff like that. So anyway, this is how his hat is looking so far. It's going to have, like I said, it'll probably have a patch here with some straw sticking out of it. And I need to have him look at it again and see how much bigger he still wants me to go. It's per pattern still has another 4 or 5 rows, but then as the way the pattern works, you've got a number of rows that fold over that we don't need to do on his. So Anyway, that's where that one is. So that one's actually almost finished. And I set it down for a little while yesterday so I could make that inner piece on mine. So I want to get this one done, then go and work on the toadstools that go onto mine. And then I can go on from there. And yeah. So that's where those are sitting, and that's what's been taking most of my time here lately, which is why I set down the stocking, because I'm like, I want to get these done. So they're done for fall, for Halloween, all that. And then I'll pick the stockings back up. So I think that is all as far as what I'm currently working on. I do have some acquisitions, part of which keep falling down over here. Don't know if you remember a while back. So I've told you guys about falling prices. It's like that Amazon liquidation store where the prices change each day, and some of you probably have your own versions of them where you're at. So I showed you guys ones that I had gotten, and it had 5, and it was a cotton acrylic blend, and there was 2 sets were beige and 1 was a green, and they all kind of went together. I could make something with it. Well, my sister-in-law just came home with another set of the green. So now I have 2 sets of green, 2 sets of beige. I can definitely make something with this. And when you get it for like $1 or $2 for all that, even though it is made in China, I'm sure, because it's all got the Chinese writing in there and everything. And I'm like, I know, no offense to anybody out there, I know what I've been told is that a lot of the different Chinese wools and cashmeres and things like that are not as good of a quality as some of the other countries, but it's still pretty good. And when you get it for that price, I mean, you can't complain, right? So got that. Then I showed you guys one time when I went in there and I had found some cashmere, and I paid $1 for it. Now, again, a friend of mine was like, okay, if it's Chinese cashmere, it's not as good. Let's see. Inner Mongolian cashmere. 100% Inner Mongolian cashmere. So this is the one that I had gotten before. So I go in there the other day. Now I know what this bag looks like now. So as soon as I saw the bag, I immediately just grabbed it, threw it in the cart, went on. So I found a gray. So I have the beige and the gray. Then I walked by another bin to find another one. And this one is a black. So I have beige, gray, and black. And I've been making some of these different things that I'm using the natural colors for. So this is probably just going to go in with that, because it's looks like a fingering. I don't remember if I saw it on here. Yeah, I don't think it said what it is, but it looks like a fingering yarn or thinner, which I have my little thing down here. I could technically check it. Let's see, did I put it back? That's provided I put it back. Oh, there it is. Let's see, my little wraps per inch, my Tina's Workshop one. Oh, come on. There we go. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what it says. So you just lay the yarn. If you haven't seen these before, these are awesome. You lay your yarn down onto it, and you can see, you can also do the wraps, but you can lay it here and see what it is. So this is actually, it's a lace weight. Yeah, so these are lace weight cashmere, 100% Mongolian, Inner Mongolian cashmere. So pretty nice, especially when you pay $1 for it. These 3 colors would go together. And you could do like a really pretty shawl probably with the, a lace weight yarn shawl with all the lacy pattern to it. Could be very pretty. Throwing them back into these bags just to kind of protect them. They're a nice little soft bag. Even though I only paid $1 for it, I don't want anything to happen to it. The company comes from the origin of Kashmir Erlang Mountain that is in Bayanur City, Inner Mongolia, China. It mainly produces cashmere and wool products, including yarn, socks, scarves, shawls, sweaters, coats, etc. My phone is ringing. Hold on. Sorry about that. That was my son. Him and his friends are out at the cemetery because it's the anniversary of one of their friends who had passed away. So anyway, okay. Back to yarn. So another one I found there. I go searching specifically for certain things too that I know. I mean, I see these things that some people might not realize the worth of, and I'm like, for that price, I'm getting it. So this was another one I paid $1 for. Snatched it up as soon as I saw it. Again, it is probably from China or something. Nayeto Shoji Company. And there's nothing really on here that says anything that I can actually read, but I could tell when I felt it. And then I think the bag it was in said something. It's cotton. It's a little thing of cotton. So I was like, okay, yeah, for $1. You get used. I know I don't need to put things in my stash, but come on, when it's that price. And it's something like, it's not just acrylic or something, which even acrylic for $1, it would have been good. But anyway, so I picked that one up. Don't know what I'll do with it, but I picked it up. And then I went by there today. Yeah, I know. I've got an issue. My sister-in-law doesn't help. She'll be like, hey, let's go. The other day, she's like, hey, let's go. And I really didn't want to go that day. Next thing I know, we've been there for over 4 hours. And I hadn't even finished going through the store. Wow, I really look. So today I got noisy. This is a paint by number, and they've had a number of these, a number of paint by numbers. They've had a number of these in there that are normally like this one. I think I've shown you before that I got, and they come in the little box, and everything's in here, your canvas, your pattern, all that stuff's in there, and your picture. So I love VW Vans, in case you didn't know, which is why I have this one. And I haven't had the chance to do it yet. But when I was in there today, I found this one that's already on the wood frame. And it has little words. Where are my words today? Easel. And there's what your paint by number looks like. I mean, these things get very, very small, little tiny things. So it's not the paint by numbers that I remember when I was younger. But this one is this picture here, which I thought was pretty. And again, for $1, I thought it would be fun to do, and especially it was already on the frame. So something to do at some point. Don't know if you guys would want a video on that or not. If you would, leave me a comment. Words. I also found this little workbook. I haven't opened it yet, but it's a watercolor workbook. And I was an art major. I draw and paint, and I've done acrylic, oil, watercolor, pencil, pastels, all kinds of stuff. I don't do a lot of it anymore just because of my neck. And if you've been here with me a while, you know I had surgery on my neck a couple of years ago, and I can't sit with my head down for too long. I do have some things that are up higher so I can work on them. I just haven't gotten around to doing that much with it, but I do have a background in doing art. But this I thought was kind of neat. Again, $1. Let's see. Oh, it's got watercolor supplies and basics and mixing colors. Oh, Okay, not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like a little blank thing, but this is still kind of neat, which that is not a sail. That says sailboat. That says sailboat. That is not a sailboat. But then it has the blank one, and it gives you, and it says pumpkin here, gives you instructions here so that you can do that. That is kind of cool. In what world is that a crab? That's not a crab. Now I'm curious. Let's see what the next one is. The next one is an anchor. I think they've got some of these words mixed up with one that was all about beach stuff, because there's some seashells. And a beach chair, a seagull, a lighthouse, starfish, oars, a life preserver, sand bucket and shovel, octopus. That's funny. Now, I will say that down here the information's correct. It is a very nice watercolor paper, and then you've got the drawing. So it's just that one word that's messed up in there, but that is kind of funny. So yeah, that was another little dollar thing. And I also got knitting needles, Knitter's Pride knitting needles. I paid $1 for them. I don't even know what size I got. 32-inch US 5, 3.75 millimeter. Nova Cubics Platina. Yeah, I mean, come on, you can't beat getting knitting needles for $1. You always need more knitting needles, right? Come on, justify this with me. Okay, so then today, went out to lunch with some friends and then went to the Legacy, which is our local craft thrift, and picked up a few things. Books are only 75 cents, so I picked up a few books. I got Yarn Bombing, The Art of Crochet and Knit Graffiti, which I've always been intrigued with the yarn bombing. I think it's fun. I have done a tiny bit, but nothing major, normally just to torment people I know. But it's just fun. I thought it would be fun to see what was in here, not to mention you get these neat ideas, even if it's for something that's not yarn bombing you just want to make. And then I also picked up this book, Elizabeth Zimmerman's Knitter's Almanac, Projects for Each Month of the Year. And I could tell it was an older book, and the things are, it's mostly lots and lots of this, but the pictures in it are all in black and white. So I looked to see what the year was, and it's 1974. And I was born in 75. So I thought, oh, this is kind of neat to go through every month of the year and see at that time, basically when I was born, what those styles were that people were like, ooh, let's make this. And I also found this little book, Colonial American Craftsmen, The Weavers, written and illustrated by Leonard Everett Fisher. And I've only just barely glanced through it, so that'll be a fun one to look at. Again, 75 cents a book, you know. This says it was acrylic. It's a really nice soft, but it was acrylic yarn. $1.25, but it was just so fun. That would be fun to do something with. I know, again, I don't need to bring more yarn in. I'm trying to get rid of yarn, but what does this say again? The yarn chooses the knitter. See? It's not my fault. I'm not the one out there picking up this yarn. The yarn is choosing me. It's not my fault. I got a little darning mushroom. And yes, I know my husband could make this. He's actually made some mushrooms that he was just making for fun, and he'd have people say, "Are these darning mushrooms?" The only thing is the ones that they were saying that to, we had apple wormwood, so it had all these little holes through it. You can't really darn with that. And then he had another one that had a big crack in it. And so they were just decorative pieces. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, I'm going to pick it up because it gives him that hands-on look at when people are talking to him about darning mushrooms, what they're kind of looking for, that he could actually make some of these because they are really cute. And it was $4.50 because, again, this is a thrift style store. Picked up some paint that I needed for a project. Then I saw this and I grabbed it for $4. I didn't even fully look at it, but I thought it might even make a fun video with you guys. It's a spinning kit. Has carded wool, lesson plan, 2 dowling drop spindles. It's spinning wool with a potato drop spindle. So I think you're putting a potato on one of these and using that as your drop spindle to spin with. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Look, they even give you yarn for a leader. So again, let me know if that's something you would like to see, how well a potato does. I have videos in the past, if you haven't seen them, where I've spun with sticks, I've spun with rocks. I have not spun with a potato before, but that could be interesting. I also plan to do a video coming up on basically getting into spinning on a budget and things that you can make yourself and use yourself. I guess I can add potatoes to the list. Who knew? Okay, last item. Yeah, I think this is the last thing I have for you, but the thing I'm probably most excited about. There's another there's 2 YouTubers that I watch that are both farming YouTubers, and they're both in Canada. One is a rescue farm called the 10 Acre Woods, and their animals are pretty much all rescues they've gotten at some point. Their dog, I don't think, is a rescue, and they just recently got one sheep that was something she had really wanted, this breed, and that one's not a rescue. But everything else they have are all rescues. And they even have 9 black cats. And every single one of them is a rescue. They just happen to keep having these. A lot of times they're rescues in the sense that maybe people have dropped them near them or something, and they'll be coming in. They might be going after the chickens or something. They figure it out. They put out a trap and they trap them and bring them in. And a couple times though, they've gotten cats that weren't black, and those usually have gone somewhere else. But they've become attached to the black ones, so now they have all these black ones, and they're very well behaved. There's a video that actually went viral they posted of the cats all sitting up in a line waiting for their little treats, and not getting up on a counter or anything. They just sat there waiting for their treats. It's very cute. I will link them below. And I actually first started watching them when I was first learning to spin, because they were doing wool processing with some of the wool from their rescue sheep. And they recently actually had some wool professionally done because they were getting a very big stockpile of it. So I'm hoping to actually buy a skein from them. They've got to figure out the whole thing with our tariffs and stuff, which is just such a nightmare. I'm sorry, won't get into it, but not happy. So I'd really like to get one of these skeins, but we'll see if that ends up happening or not. But the other farm I watch is actually a sheep farm. They breed sheep. Her husband does like corn and soy and things like that, and then she breeds sheep. And I found them the one time, started watching. Sheepishly Me, right? Sheepishly Me. Sandy Brock, I think, is her name. And words keep failing me. Twice a year, she has lambing. And so this little baby guys are just so stinking cute. And she has a few different breeds. And like I was saying, she has one named Tomatoes. She has a set that are her golden girls, and they are her pets. So ones she's become attached to, that once they get to a certain age that they're no longer breeding, they get put to pasture in a sense. She has a barn and a pasture area that's just for these ones. And so she's got, I think, 5 golden girls right now, and one is named Tomatoes. He's very sweet. And then she has been getting her wool processed, and she had a drop that went out a few months back, and she just had plain colored wool, undyed, and her stuff went so fast I wasn't able to get any. Well, this time when her launch went, the US wasn't able to buy anything because she still had to figure out the tariff stuff. And I actually saw it as soon as it went up, and I was like, oh man, I could have gotten some, and I was really bummed. But I'm like, I got to keep an eye on this, because as soon as she figures this out, I want to be able to buy some. And when she did finally figure it out, I got on and I was able to get a skein of yarn. I was so happy. And she was able to figure out with a certain shipping company to be able to work, because there is an agreement with Mexico, Canada, and US, and it's still a pain in the butt for them to have to do it, but they can, if they get everything worked out right, they can do it. So anyway, bought a skein from her. So this is her little thing. She's got the cutest little artwork that ends up getting done. I'm not sure. I think this is supposed to be the one sheep Billy. One of the golden girls is Billy's mom. And so that's her and one of her dogs. And then this was included a sticker with my order. And the yarn is a worsted weight 2-ply. And it just says 100% sheepishly me wool. So she does have a few different breeds. I forget what the main breed was that I've seen, but she did 2 colorways this time. One was I think it was a black, white, and gray, and then this one was called the red colorway. And if I remember correctly, this sheep here actually is named Red, and I don't remember if that's Billy or a different one. But anyway, this is the colorway, and it's a little bit of a coarser wool. Maybe a slightly coarser than the Jacob. It is not superwash, so you do find the little bits of VM, which I like. I like the fact that it's a very natural. It does not have the sheepy smell though, but it is done beautifully. And I'm so excited that I was able to get a skein of it. So I'm hoping if I can get a skein from 10 Acre Woods, then maybe I can do something with those 2 together and have a little Canada project. I think it's kind of funny that these 2 farms I watch both happen to be in Canada. So I will link them both below. So they're really good things to go and watch. Very enjoyable. So anyway, that's the one I was the most excited. I was so excited that I was able to get my hands onto a skein of that. And she's going to have an advent calendar coming out too. And last year it was little needle felted projects with wool from her sheep. And I believe this year is something similar. So that would be a fun thing to do too. I don't know if I will end up getting it or not. There's so many things going on right now. I would really, really like to get that advent and maybe another advent, but I don't know that I will try to invest in it at the moment. Speaking of that, please make sure to like and subscribe, hit notify if you'd like to see more. My videos, for some reason, still don't seem to be hitting the algorithm. I don't know what has been happening the last few months that all of a sudden my videos are not getting pushed out. So I would really, really appreciate if you do actually share those videos and get them out to other people, because I think and I hope you guys enjoy my content. I'm still picking up subscribers, so thank you very much. but for some reason, I'm just getting no views. And I think my videos just are not popping up for people. So if you hit that notify, you'll get a notification when I upload. I do generally upload every Saturday. Every Saturday morning, I'm uploading it at, I think, 6 a.m. my time, which is, what am I, Pacific time, I think that's what I am. I'm in California. So I do try to post every week. So it's, you can remember that too, Anyway, I do my vlogs, and I do occasionally do a video, a tutorial, or just following along with something I'm doing, or maybe a tour somewhere. So it's always a little something different, but I do try to let you guys keep up with the things that I'm doing. And so, amazing yarn. Stay tuned to see what I do with it. And if I am able to get the other and do something with both of them, that will be a lot of fun. So can't wait for that. If you've made it this far, let's see, put a little sheep emoji for all the little sheepies that are giving us their wonderful fleece. Little sheep emoji down below, and let me know you made it this far. So I hope you guys all have an amazing weekend, an amazing week, and I'll see you next weekend. And that just messed up how I always end this, but I'll see y'all again soon. Bye.